Hello everybody and welcome to another class. So let me make sure, as I always do, if everything is working fine. Give me a minute. Let me make sure, as I always do. And I do that all the time because not just once. I was like giving the class for a long time and then I realized something was wrong. The sound was not working, the image, like it was. Okay, so today we'll keep uh, solving our exercise. So I already create a bunch of files here, so 4 to 10. I don't think we go in this class solve all those, but just to save space, I'll close this and I'll have the files open here, at least the next 4. So we solved the last class, the question 1, 2, and 3. Let's go to the question 4 now. Enjoy, because I'm going very slowly and I want to make sure that we all learn all the basics before we can move to the next topic. So this question says, read two integer numbers, a and b. So it's saying that the number are integer, so we don't need to ask those details. And print the result of all arithmetic operation you know for a and b. So this is more like I doubt someone will have all those operations on top of your mind. So we may do what we remember, and then we can review our material to see what is missing. Okay, so let's exercise here as we are start to learn, so we can learn in a good way. Okay, so doesn't matter how simple the problem looks like. We have to spend some time to understand the problem and work in the design. Design, I mean, what is our approach? What we need to do? How we will accomplish what was asked. Right now, maybe is not easy to get, but later on that will be clear. As more as the appropriate time we spend think about the solution of the problem, we will be able to come with the best code solution, or we will be able to come with a solution. Initially, we are not looking for the best solution. We will be happy just if we can solve the problem. Okay, cool. So let me do something here before I start. I go to format and then line, and I'll make the line a little bit thicker. Okay. So as we always do, well, our program need an input. So we have an input here. What will be the input in this case? Well, two numbers. I can call number 1. Oh, actually, let me do this. Sometimes it's very important for us to use whatever is in the problem. The question said numbers a and b, so it will not be a bad idea to call those variables like number a and number b. We don't have to do that, but in this context will be appropriated. Let me do this, I guess. Line and then I didn't like this. I use something like this, would be better. So this is our input. Then we have our program here. And we have to realize, okay, what will be our output? It's very important that before we start to do the coding, so let me put here just to be like input. And then output. Output. Look, I'm not thinking about coding yet. Why you have those? Oh, I guess I know. I create another arrow there, input. I'm not even thinking about coding yet. I just want to realize, well, my input will be number 1 and then number 2, 2 numbers. What will be our output? All operations that we know. So on top of our mind, we know, okay, we could do already like the basic for operation. So that would be and another question that we could do is, okay, we may think we got everything. I will ask, do you want all the operations, for example, the basic operation, a plus b and a minus b, a multiplied by b, a divided by b only, or you want the inverse as well, b plus a, b minus a, b multiplied by a, b divided by a. Because sometimes our language is not that clear. And it's a nice question to ask, because if you are in an interview or if you are solving a problem, you make sure that, okay, am I clear what I need to do? Because during our work as a software engineer, most of the problem come from not clear, or they call ambiguous specification, and we don't take the time to clarify. Is the most common mistake ever in building application system. So it's very important for us to create that thing. Is this what you mean? So always try to reiterate what is asked and try to find if there is any doubt there. Imagine that the interviewer or the client or the customer told you, no, use just A and B. I don't want B and A. So I say, okay, cool. So we can think, okay, this way we can already think, well, the basic operation will be number A plus number B Let me make this a little bit smaller so we have more space for our operation here, number. And let me make this big as well. And number A minus number B, I could think, okay, number A multiply by number B. We could think, would be better for me just to call A and B, because I will be writing less. In this case, as we don't have many other variables, I don't think it would be a sin. We could think, okay, I already know that it is two numbers. So instead of create a variable called number A and B, I would just use A and B. I don't suggest that because it doesn't matter if it's just two variables. It's good to have a clear description about what we are representing those variables. This is a silly example, but I recommend you always try to get a nice name for your variable. A and B maybe can be confused with something else later with A and B. Then you could say number A divided by number B. I even do like a copy and paste here to make my life easier. Okay, so what else could we do here? We remember, oh wait, there is something here that was the integer division. Do you remember that? Oh, there is something else as well that is the mod. Do you remember that? Oh, I guess there is something else as well that is power. Do I need to remember all that? No, what we can do? we can check our material and see, okay, what operation did we learn? So let's go to the assign an expression. So those are all assigned, so maybe this is cool. Now let's go to math, because it's all math operation. So we can see, okay, we put the basic operation, we put the interdivision, we got the mod. We could get both in just one operation using this div mod. Pi is okay. We could make power, so this is what will be. Then there is the minimum. It's kind of a math operation as well. So we could say minimum of number A and number B. Oops, I need more space here. Sale is not really an operation. Round is just for one number, so I'm not applying to. Log will be in a specific base. I'm looking for operation that I can do with two numbers. Square root, no. Power, okay. Power I already have here. So I could do in a different way, just to show you that it's very common to have multiple ways to do the same thing. Power, number A, comma, number B. Random numbers, so it's fine. So I think for now, we may say, okay, I have it. Do I know how to do all this operation? Yes. Basically, in this case, it's so simple that my output description is already this. In my output description, I could just say something like this. I will make this operation, this operation, this operation, or I could even name them. I could say here addition, subtraction, division, subtraction, division, multiplication. In this part, I can represent the way that I want. It's for a human to read. I don't need to follow any code convention. I will keep it this way just for simplicity, because we already have that. But just to let you know that in here, we don't care about programming language yet. I just put it here because then it will help us identify what to do. But I could just name all this. Oh, I need to do addition, division, integer division. Oh wait, the key was I changed something here. Because didn't went back enough. So actually was something like this. Plus, minus. What I'm trying to explain to you is that this right side of our screen is very important, and you or anyone will fail an interview, code interview, if you don't do the thing. If you jump directly to the coding, please don't do that ever. Okay, let me close those guys now. And okay, now I prepare for my question. I will copy this. I go here, and then I put the comment. I put a comment like multiplied comment. Do you remember how we do that? And let me close this so you can see the entire question. In this question does not make a lot of sense, but I want to plant that seed in your mind. Never ever jump into coding before you put some time to think about what is your input, what is the expected output, and how you go there. In this case, I know we have those two. I do all those calculations and just print it. Now, yes, I go to my left side and I have to do what Python allows us to do. Whatever programming language I'm using, I have to do here. So I have to input two numbers. So I can just say number A will receive an input. I will put a text here like I can say number A. And I have to remember that all the input will be converted to an int. This has to be clear in our mind. In Python, when we do an input, this is the prompt that will be shown to the user. The user can type something, hit enter. Whatever the user type will come as a string. And then in this case, I'm converted to integer because this is what my specification is telling me to do. I will be lazy here. I will do a copy and paste. And then I will change here to B and B. I will tell you ahead, a lot of hard mistake you do is because you copy and paste and you forgot to change something here. And those are some mistakes that is hard to spot later on. Cool. Once we have those two, we'll say, okay, now I need to calculate everything I need. And how I told you before, it's good for us to, this is the input, this is the output, and here we have the operation, the processing. This is our raw ingredients, this is our cake, and this is our cooking, like baking the cake, prepare the cake. Okay. So what we could do is, okay, I will say that addition is equals to number A plus number B. So I have one of those inputs. Now I'd say, okay, subtraction is number A minus number B. Multiplication is equals to, I will do this, I will copy this guy just to make my life easier. And what is multiplication in Python is star. Division, what is division in Python? It is slash. Now I say, okay, integer division, that will be slash. I can call reminder, always reminder. I'm doubt now. I guess it's this one here. The other one is about remember. Let me just check here. Oh, I think if I use this, is div mod. I guess the documentation tell us what is return. Return type of div mod. Oh, it's called mod, so it's fine. For English speak, this should be enough. Mod will be number A. Mod number B. The next one will be power. So we can say power will be number A power number B. And I forgot because I put minimal here, but I forgot to put the max. So now I can say, okay, minimal will be min. So now is where I forgot if I can just type min or I have to put math dot min. And then you have to remember, oh, what I like about coding is that you don't have to be a very crazy memory. You can just check your material. You can go to Google, ChatGPT, or wherever, and you don't remember, probably in your code there is something with that. So is that why I like to have this material? Because you help you to remember later on. See, is math, where is it? Minimum max. I guess I show here. It's just min. We don't need even to import anything. It's just min and max. Okay. When someone only code in one language, it's easier to remember. But when you have like working many different languages at the same time, it's easier to confuse the thing. It's like if we speak multiple languages, sometimes you get confused. So this will be like max number A, number B. Okay, so it's a very silly program, but it's just for us to remember. Don't feel impatient. We will learn a lot of like hard thing later on, but this, I agree, is very easy, but I want you all to start to feel the vibe, start to feel the power of coding. We can do a lot of things, okay? Now that we have our process, we got all the operations, check, 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 check. Now we can say, okay, let me see. We could is even nice. Okay, let's see if this is correct. When we do part of the program, it's nice to do some testing so we can fix whatever is wrong. Or we can go to the print because you help us to see if what we did is correct or not. But it doesn't hurt to just run something like this. And let's put here like A will be like 6, B will be like 4. And I say, okay, how much is 6 by plus 4? I check. It's 10. Subtraction is 2. Division or multiplication is 24. Division is 1.5. Integer division is 1. How many 4s I need to make 1 6? Just 1. The mod is 2. Where I am, I need 2 to get there. Power will be 6 multiplied by 6, multiplied by 6, multiplied by 6. So that will be 1296. The minimum of both will be 4. The max will be 6. I didn't stop at the end, but I had a glimpse. Now I will prepare for my output that we learned already. So our output we can prepare. Okay, I will print. I know that will be a format string. And then I can say something like this. Look how cool this can be. I will say number A plus number B is equals to addition. I don't need to calculate anymore because I already did. So this is very important that you understand string interpolation. My string starts here and ends here. When I put this F in the middle means, okay, now I can interpolate or add or insert strings in the middle of my string. Or insert variables in the middle of my string. So this will be replaced by the content or the value of number A. This plus is not operation, it's just a string. See, it's part of this string. This will be number B, and here will be the addition. I will be lazy, and I will copy this guy, and I will prepare for the next operation. I like to do something like this. To avoid me to do some mistakes, I remove this, and I remove this. Because now I will be forced to complete all the other ones. How many I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or I just put a bunch and then I see if it's correct. So the second one will be number A minus number B is equals to subtraction. Subtraction. The next one will be multiplication here, and the result will be multiplication. Division, and this will be division. And now I have integer division that I make this, and here will be integer division. Mod, oops. Then we have power. And then I have to change a little bit here. I say mean of number 1, comma, number 2. I will close this, and then I will put mean here. I will do something very similar, but I will change this to max, and here will be max. Do you agree that it's very easy for me to do some mistake in all this typing? Is that why it's very important to do good testing? I will save, I will run again, and then let's put like 6 and 4. And I will let it run. I'm not going to debug. I remove my breakpoint and just let it run. And now I can see 6 plus 4 is 10, 6 minus 4 is 2, 6 multiplied by 4 is 24, 6 divided by 4, real division is not 5, 6 integer division by 4 is 1, because the quotient is 1, 6 mod 4 is 2, the rest is 2, 6 multiply, 6 power 4 is this, is 6 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 6 is 36 multiplied by 36. The minimum of 6 and 4 is 4. The max of 6 and 4 is 6. It's very important for us to test something different. So let me put here like 1 and 5. So we can take a look and see if all that makes sense. We can run again and try something like this, 5 and 0. Look what happened. The computer said, oh, there is a division by 0 here and I don't know how to do it. So it's undefined. Okay, division by 0 is undefined. So we'll learn how to deal with that later on. But pay attention how a simple program like this could raise exception, could raise an error, because of what we say is a corner case. Division by 0, the computer does not know how to do. Some language say is infinite. I have a discussion with my son, he is doing math, and I code in C#. And in C#, if you do a division by 0, since like 2 versions ago, does not raise exception. Return a special type that is infinite. And I thought, oh, divide by 0 is error, we can do. But then as C# also, and then I told my son, no, division by 0 is infinite. He said, no, it's not. And I said, dude, it is, let me show. And I show in C#. And he said, okay, let me get a math book now and show you that is not. And then he showed me that mathematically, the conversion now, maybe that can change the filter, but there is no division by 0. It is a special case, okay? So here is our question. We did our best to clarify what you need to do, our best to test. And then we can see, okay, I will call that this is red. Let me submit my code, okay? So let me stop this one here. I will save. And now we can move to the next one. Cool. I will create just a new page here, just in case if you need to go back. So the next question is, read 3 integer numbers and calculate the average. We even already did something like this, but it's good, just as a warming up. So we go here, we do this, and now we can say, okay, read 3 integer numbers and calculate the average. In this case, I don't think we have any more interest question, because it was already told the integer number. Oh, the numbers are integer. We could say what kind of average, because there are different types of average. There is weighted average, there is regular average. So if nothing is told us, we can understand that the average is we sum all the numbers and divide by the quantity of numbers, in this case 3. However, I want us to have this in mind. Our input will be three numbers. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Here I can type the way that I want. I can even do something like this. Number 1, number 2, number 3, because I'm not coding here. I have the freedom to just represent what I want. And here, this will be my input. We have our program here that has to do something. And then our output. Go here. Where are those? Here. And then I'll say, okay, we'll have our output here. What is our output? Oh, come on, Jose, what the heck? What is our output? The average. How do I calculate the average? Then we can think about this here. Okay, average. Average. Ela é igual a o quê? Number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3. And that's funny because here we could even represent something like this way. Let me just do something this here just to show you this. Let me keep this here, here. And I could say, okay, average is this divide by 3. In here, I could represent this way because this will be read by a human. And then we know how to read this. We know that is number 1 plus number 3 plus number 2 plus number 3. And all that divided by 3. So we have a mental solution for our program. Now I can think, okay, do I have enough to start code? Did I clarify what I need to do? Yes. So we can say, okay, now let's prepare for number 1, input. I say that, okay, I want number 1. I have to always remember that I want as an integer, so I will convert all this to an int. I will be lazy, I will do a copy and paste, and then change here to number 2, number 3, number 2, number 3. Pay attention that now I didn't put the underscore. That is more like preference. Some people prefer to put because it's easier to read. There is a number and then 1, 2, 3. Let's do this to follow to have consistency, okay? Now that we have the 3 numbers as integers, because it's what was told us here, we'll make the average. We'll calculate the average. So nothing better than call a variable average. And that variable will be number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3. All this divided by 3, right? Well, we already know that if we do this, Python will first divide number 3 by 3 and then add. So that is not the average at all. So we need to increase the priority of the addition by put all the expression into parentheses. This is something that for sure one day you will forget. Now that we have this, we could be lazy and just say print the average is, I will make like a F to say I want to format this string, and here will be the average. I don't want to repeat number 1, number 2, number 3 again. However, sometimes we may, because imagine that this is a program that you get the input, we calculate, and prepare a full expression that has to be sent to another server, to other place. You need to do this a lot. In this case, I will just do this. We calculate, and then I prepare what we should show to the user. Okay, I use save and run. Number 1, let me put like here 3. Number 2, 5. Number 3, I'll put like 8. So the average is 5.333333 because it will be 16 divided by 3. So it will be 5, and we have 1 divided by 3, that will be 0.3333. Okay, let's run again, and let's give another value. So let's say like 5, 5, and 5. The average will be 5. Pay attention that the division always return a float. Do you see here that when we print, there is this 5.0? If by mistake we do this, look, what is wrong here? I'm doing an integer division. So, and if I test with this, like 5, oops, sorry, not here, here, 5, 5, and 5. And I could assume, oh, my program is correct. Look at this, 5, 5, 5, and it's 5. Good. Friday, you just submit your code, you go home, and then the weekend, there is a lot of issues because you used the wrong operation, because it was not the average. For sure is a real number, unless it's specified. Okay? Or because, like, let me put the way that was. I will save now. And let's run again with those values, 3, 5, and 8. See, I run 3, 5, and 8. The average is still 5, and we lost the 0.33333. Okay, so we have to remember this. There are 2 divisions, the integer division that is with 2 slash, and the float division that is just 1 slash. Cool? So now we finish our second exercise of today's class. Let's see what else we have. Okay. Read 3 integer. Oh, sorry. This we just did it. No. Read the base and the length of a rectangle and calculate its area. This is something that happens a lot. We get a problem to solve that we say, oh, I don't remember how to calculate the area of a square or a rectangle, sorry, a rectangle. If you don't know what you're gonna do, you search for it. However, we still have to do this. Looks like boring. Now I agree that it is, but this will help us a lot along the way. So we have to think about, oh, this is our program. What is our input? And what is our expected output? So this we are following that model: input, processing, and output. Do I need to clarify something? Read the base and length of a rectangle. So one question I will do here is, I will tell the interview, I assume that the base and length, they are float, because it's very common as we are getting measures to be float. And measure say, yes, you are right. Cool. And I say, oh, how do you calculate the area? If the interview give you the tip, oh, do you remember? I said, no, I don't. He said, oh, you just multiply one by other, because if we think like a rectangle, like this, by base and length or height, okay? I guess, let me change this here. It is even better to say height. If we multiply one by the other, we find the area. Because like if we get this and you repeat this multiple times here, we will fill up all this area. Please don't be scared because a lot of example you do has some math involved. It's just for example, because the computer is basically something that doesn't match very well. Our work involves some basic class. For example, you're gonna work in an online store. You have to do some math there. Multiply every product quantity by the price. Accumulate all that. Find the total of the order. Calculate tax. Add shipping. So it's just basic math. No one should be blocked in learning coding because does not like or does not know math. We can always abstract. No one has to be a math major or know or love math to be a software developer or be a computer programmer. However, some areas like AI, data mine, data science, and many other areas like gaming, there is physics, there is math, so you need to learn that. But you can do a coder, you can retire in your life, have a great life, good salary, without do any other math than the basic one, the 4 operations. If you go to certain areas, you go to research, or if you go to accounting, or you need to do some extra. Account is just basic math, there is nothing there extra. So don't feel scared about math and code, because only if you decide to go to those areas, okay? So I say, okay, what is my input? My input will be the base and the height. What will be my output? Will be the area of the, suppose, like rectangle. How do I calculate that? The area is equals to base multiplied by the height. Cool. Now it's easy, and that is how I want you to feel. As long as we know what form I need to use, I hope now you think, oh, coding is not that hard. Why people make all that? Of course, we will learn some harder thing, but if we know everything up to that point, we make it easier. Okay? So I say, okay, let's get a variable called base. We already know that has to be converted to float. We will prompt that information to the user. Base. We will do the same for the height. Now we will calculate the area. And then we will print. Oh. In C# it's console.writeLine, so I was going for it. Print. I know that I'll do some format here. The area is, and now the value of the variable area. Okay? Let's save and run. Let's imagine that the base is 5.65. The height is 3.25. The area will be 18.3. If you are in doubt, what you can do is we can go here. Imagine that you have no idea how to calculate. Don't be afraid. Go to Bing, Copilot, and ask, how do I calculate the area of a rectangle. Is going to show you here how to calculate it. Area is length multiplied by width. And it's funny because here they say length plus width, but for us is base and height. So it's up to you. What you can do is you can come here and say, could you give me some example to validate my calculations using some float values. Is a tool that we should take advantage of it. Okay, let me see here. It's saying that if it's 4.5, 3.2 will give me like 14.4. Don't get surprised or scared if we get some crazy answer from this guy. This happened. You cannot just blindly trust it. I got multiple times wrong thing here. So make sure that you do your count as well. So you can open a calculator and test 4.5 multiply, where is multiplication? Multiply by 3.2. A pro advice. Every time you finish a program, try to break it. Really test it as you are like the enemy of the program and you want to find the bugs. If you go to an interview or even you finish your code and you say, oh no, it's good. That shows that you are not experienced yet to respect how much mistake we do and how important it is to make sure you can catch those mistakes as soon as possible. So do your test, then you avoid your customer, whoever is paying you to do your job, to suffer from those mistakes. Mistakes will always happen, but we have to avoid those ones that could be easily spotted. Okay, doesn't matter how good you are, how high level in your career you are, you will commit some bugs. A good developer will let pass bugs that is hard to catch. A new developer will not test appropriately and then let some silly bugs go through. Okay, let's see how much time we have today. 40 minutes. Okay, we have time for one more. And I hope you are having fun with this. You are thinking, oh, looks how cool is this. I can use my computer to do stuff for me, stuff that I don't like. That is the point. We have a machine that can do work for us. We just need to learn how to talk with it. So let's go to this other one here. Question number 7. I will go here. I will close this. Oh no, actually I will keep here because we may need help in this one. Read the radius of a cycle and calculate the area. So let's go here to a new page and the same drill. I don't mind if you're bored now and say, oh, this teacher is like boring. I said, okay, it's better be boring. Make sure that we learn the right thing, then be cool and not force you to learn the right way. Doesn't matter how easy it is. Okay, read the radius of a cycle. So the radius should be float, It's very rare to have a situation where the radius is integer. However, remember, it's not up to us, it's up to the business. Maybe you are in a specific type of project that all these circles radius will be integer. You have to ask. If you are in doubt, use the more like permissive one. okay? So read the radius of a cycle and calculate the area. So I can say, okay, what is our input here? Our input is the radius. After I have that, I have to calculate my output. What will be our output? Will be the area. How do I calculate the area of a cycle? You may remember from school that the area is equals to multiply, no, it's P multiplied by, let's see if I remember, something like pi multiplied by radius square. You don't need to know that. You can go to Google, you can go to ChatGPT, even Google here, how to calculate the area of your cycle. So C is PR square. So I just need to apply this formula. So now I say, okay, let me go here and says PR, let me see how to make this subscript. Right click here, character, and then position. So script, yeah. See? And I say, okay, pi, what is the value of pi? You don't need to know because we learned last class. If we go here to the math example, somewhere here we are using pi. See? Pi math. And we have to remember wherever we use pi, math, we have to import this model. There is a lot of copy and paste in coding because some people has a great memory. They just remember, import math. I know some people that is impressed. In my last job, there was a girl that we went to some meetings, talk about new business. People talk about a lot of different things. And I was taking notes, recording, and then right after the meeting, she could basically explain everything that happened in the meeting with details and this and that. And I said, oh my God, I would love to have a member like that. So people has different ability. Maybe someone is not a greater problem solver, but he has a memory, she has a good memory that remember all the solution that can be combined. So there is space for all different kind of skill sets. You just need to learn how to leverage what you do best. Okay? So now that we import in math, we need to prepare for this calculation. So that will be our input. We can say radius. We receive the conversion to float from input. And then we're going to say, okay, radius. Now we do our calculation. Area will be equals to pi, that is math dot pi, multiply by r, that is, by radius, power 2. Or I could say radius multiplied by radius. So I could do something like this if I want to make sure that we do this. Remember that this is all multiplication, so make no difference. But if I want to show exactly what is here, I can say radius square multiplied by pi. And now we can say print f, the area is the area is, and then I will put the value of the variable area here. I am done. area. Okay, I will save. And I need some help. I will come here and say, okay, let me do some testing here. If I put like 5, see, it's 7.78. Google has exactly this code there. Is that why he can calculate? If I put like 3.56. What you do? Okay, let's run this code. And let's give the same values. 3.56. 39.81. Do you see that our number has even a bigger precision? Because Google here is truncating the number here. So if you want to replicate the same here, we can say, okay, area. We can even do this here. Area, we keep the full value. But we can go to math and see, oh, wait, there is something that we learned here called round. Okay, and you can say something like this, round in the numbers and how many decimals we want. And I can go here and say, okay, I want to show the area as a round number. I want to be like Google with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So this is what we call presentation. We don't want to give all this number because the user just want to 1, 2, 3 or X decimal. Okay. So this is something that I didn't ask, but if someone asked that during the interview, you could say, oh, how many, if the result is a float, how many decimals should I format? That would be awesome. Probably I will not ask that. Maybe only when if I run and I could see there, I could spot, but probably something that I will not. So 3.56. And now we can say, okay, let's see if Google has the same. See, now we have the same. Maybe the specs should tell us, show the result with this X decimal. But this will be something very cool if you remember to ask. For example, if someone remember and I did, maybe in an interview, they'll say, well, do you know, Jose was good, he solved the problem, but the other person was more careful to ask how many decimals we should print. So that was, sometimes we apply for a job, we do the interview, we do well, but we don't get the offer because someone else did better than us. And sometimes it's those details. Not exactly this one, but something others or some other thing. Cool. And then I could test with maybe, oh, what about, oh, let me run this here and let's see. Okay, if my circle has a radius of 145.12, the area will be this. What I want to plant in your mind is that we must be very diligent and creative how to test our code. If we don't know the result, find where you can give some values and find the response. So you can make sure. If someone blame, oh, there is a bug in your program, I say, oh, I test with those values and they were right. Maybe there is a corner case or a different situation. Okay? And remember, as usually, we have the input, the processing, and the output. The input, the processing, and the output. Cool? So yeah, we are like I want to keep the class like 1 hour long. And I hope you understand how important it is to put this in your habit. Like make that your normal thing. Or I have to do some coding. Let me clarify what is the input, what's the output, and then let me think a little bit how to do it. Right now, the process is so simple that we don't need to spend a lot of time, but sometimes we spend the full class just to understand how to break down the steps to process the input to calculate the output. It will be very common later on for the entire class to be just one question. Cool? Okay, so God bless you. Thank you for joining and see you next class, next week. And keep trying to solve the other question. Bye. Where is it?